Good morning, students. This is Padmanabham, botany teacher. Now, in this class, I am going to explain the positional symmetry of flower. What is positional symmetry? Already we told that the symmetry, numerical symmetry, then structural symmetry. Now, here on thalamus, that means the tip of the pedicel was condensed globose on the thalamus at respective nodes. The floral leaves are developed now. With respect to other floral members, this is calyx, then corolla, then androecium, then gynoecium. Na? You know this. With respect to other floral members, the gynoecium arranged in different positions, in different flowers. With respect to gynoecium, this is androecium, this one is gynoecium. Now, with respect to gynoecium, remaining floral whorls are arranged in different ways. Remaining floral whorls are arranged in different ways. Based on the arrangement of different floral whorls on the thalamus, the flowers are classified into three types more. That is one, hypogynous flowers. Hypogynous flowers. Here in these flowers, thalamus was cone shape or dome shape. Cone or dome shape. Cone or dome shaped thalamus, on which the gynoecium occupies extreme top position. Extreme top position. So on thalamus, the gynoecium occupies topmost position. Remaining floral whorls. What are remaining? Calyx, corolla, androecium develops from the base of the ovary. Right? So from the base of the ovary, calyx, corolla, androecium develops. In such flowers, the gynoecium occupies extreme top position, that is a superior position. So in these flowers, the ovary is said to be what ma? Superior ovary. Remaining floral whorl develops from the base of the ovary. So here gynoecium occupies extreme top position. Extreme top position. Such flowers are called hypogynous flowers. In these flowers, the ovary is said to be superior ovary. For example, chilies, hibiscus, mustard, datura, etc. Whenever you see the second one, that is perigynous flowers. In these perigynous flowers, the thalamus was cup shaped or saucer shaped. Cup shaped or saucer shaped thalamus, on which the centralmost part, the gynoecium, was arranged at center. Remaining floral whorls are formed in the rim of thalamus, rim or margin of the thalamus. The remaining floral whorls such as calyx and corolla and androecium were developed. So at the center of the thalamus, cup-shaped thalamus, the gynoecium occupies at middle position. Remaining floral whorls such as calyx, corolla androecium was developed on the margins or rim, almost equal in position, almost equal positions or same level. The gynoecium and remaining floral words develops. Such a condition, the flowers are said to be perigynous flowers. Here, the ovary is said to be half inferior or half superior. Half inferior or half superior, because the same level the gynoecium as well as remaining parts are developed. Such flowers are said to be perigynous flowers. In these flowers, the ovary is said to be half inferior or half superior. For example, peach, plum, rose, gulmohar. Then the third one, epigynous. Epigynous flowers. Here, the thalamus along with ovary, which can grow and occupies the total ovary. So this is ovary, gynoecium. The thalamus is a deep cup shaped thalamus. Means the thalamus grow along with the ovary wall and encircles the ovary wall and totally covers the ovary. So now in these flowers, the ovary was buried within the thalamus, that is deep cup shaped thalamus. Where the remaining floral parts are developed means on the upper level of the thalamus, that means above the level of ovary. So in this ovary is said to be inferior ovary. In these flowers, the ovary is said to be inferior ovary. The flowers are said to be perigynous flowers. So here the cup-shaped thalamus, middle portion the ovary occupies. Here deep cup-shaped thalamus. Thalamus grow along with ovary and covers the complete ovary. So ovary buried in the deep cup of thalamus. So this ovary is said to be inferior. This is ovary is said to be half inferior. While already we discussed that the cone or dome shape thalamus on which the extreme top the ovary occupies. Here the ovary is superior. Here the ovary is a half inferior or half superior. Here the ovary is completely inferior. Such types of flowers are found in ray florets or florets of sunflower, cucumber, apple, sunflower, cucumber, apple, guava. In these inferior ovary was found, right? So inferior ovary found in epigynous flowers. In perigynous flowers, half inferior ovary was found. In hypogynous flowers, superior ovary was found. This is very important. Superior ovary found in hypogynous, half inferior found in perigynous, inferior ovary was found in epigynous. Examples also important. Examples also important. Next, parts of flowers. The first part, calyx. The units of calyx is known as what, ma? Sepals. Calyx is the outermost whorl of a flower, which consists of sepals. The sepals are green in color, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or many in number. The sepals in a flower may be free or may be unite. Suppose the sepals are unite like this is said to be gamosepalous condition. Suppose the sepals in a flower are free with one another like this, it is said to be polysepalous condition. So in a flower, the sepals are free with one another, polysepalous. In a flower, suppose the sepals are fused like this and forms a whole called gamosepalous. Gamosepalous means fused sepals. Polysepalous means free sepals. That's it, right? So sepals are green in color, maybe 3 or 5 or many in number, which is green in color, which is protective in function. Protective in function. After fertilization, generally the sepals are wither off. Generally in almost all plants, the sepals are wither off. But in some plants like tomato, brinjal, physalis, tomato, brinjal, physalis, chilies, after fertilization also the sepals are unite with the fruit. After fertilization also the sepals are attached with fruit, green sepals. Such sepals are called persistent calyx. Persistence means long live. Generally, the sepals are wither off or fall off after fertilization, the majority of the plants. But in some plants like tomato, brinjal and physalis, the sepals are long lived. Along with the fruit also, they continuously attach. Such sepals are known as persistent sepals. Right? That is about sepals. Next. Corolla, second wall. The units of corolla is known as petals, which are different in color. Petals are different color in different plants. These petals are useful to attract the insects for pollination. So petals with different colors, they are useful to attract the insects for pollination purpose. The petals also unite, are free. Suppose free petals are there, they are said to be polypetalous. Suppose fused petals are found, they are said to be gamopetalous. Like sepals, in some plants the petals are free, then it is called polypetalous. Some other plants the petals are fused, gamopetalous. In fused petals as well as in free petals, the petals are arranged differently and exhibit different shapes. Based on the shapes of petals, some plants exhibit funnel shaped corolla found in Datura. Like this, funnel shaped corolla was found in Datura. Whereas a wheel shaped corolla was found in brinjal. Tubular corolla was found in disc florets of sunflower. Then bell-shaped corolla was found in physalis. Cruciform or cross-form corolla found in mustard. Papilionaceous corolla was found in pea plants. Papilionaceous means like this. There are 5 petals arranged like this. Papilionaceous corolla was found in pea plants or Fabaceae members. Cruciform or cross-form petal arrangement found in mustard. Bell-shaped found in physalis. Tubular corollas are found in disc florets of sunflower. Wheel-shaped petals are found in brinjal. Funnel-shaped found in datura. And bilipped corolla. Bilipped. Corolla looks like 2 lips. Bilipped corolla was found in Ocimum. Hood shaped corollas are found in ray florets of sunflower. Hood shaped ray florets of sunflower. Bilipped corolla was found in Ocimum. And papilionaceous corolla found in pea plants and beans. Cruciform or cross form. What is cross form? Let us see the cross form. Like this. Cross form corolla found in mustard. Bell shaped corolla was found in physalis. Tubular corolla was found in disc florets of sunflower. Wheel shaped brinjal. Funnel shaped datura. These are the different shapes of petals in different plants or in different flowers. Right? That is about the shape of petals. Petals are the second whole of a flower which is in different color, in different species, which are useful to attract the insects for pollination. Right? That is about the petals. Next. Estivation. The mode of arrangement of calyx or corolla, that means sepals or petals in a flower at bud condition. So the petals or sepals, that means calyx or corolla, in a flower at bud condition, the differently arranged based on the arrangement of petals or sepals in a flower at bud condition is known as estivation or estivation. Whatever it may be the pronunciation, spelling is same, meaning is same. Estivation. Estivation means the mode or method of arrangement of the calyx or corolla, sepals or petals in a flower bud with respect to their same whole. For example, in a flower, the calyx, for example, the calyx are 5 in number. The 5 sepals are arranged like this, right? Or the 5 sepals are arranged like this. Based on the arrangement of the calyx or corolla with respect to the other floral member in the same whole, these estivation types were classified. What are the types of estivation? The types of estivation were classified into 4 types more. That is valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. Valvate. The petals or sepals in a flower are arranged in a whorl with short gaps without overlapping. See here, with short gaps only they arranged without overlapping or without attachment. Such a petal arrangement is said to be valvate, found in Calotropis. Example Calotropis, I write example at center. So the each and every sepal or petal in the same whorl without any overlapping with small gaps. Such arrangement is called water, valvate. Then you see twisted, each and every petal or sepal overlaps the next one. You see this outer wall, inner wall, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner. Means each sepal or petal, whatever it may be, overlaps by the next one. This one overlap by the next cover. Overlap means cover. Covers by the next one, covers by the next one, covers by the next one to do so. Such an arrangement is called a twisted arrangement. Was found in China rose, lady's finger, China rose and lady's finger, cotton also, cotton. Next, imbricate. Here the overlapping was seen, but was not in a distinct manner. See, this one overlapped by this one overlapped by this one is overlapped by this one is overlapped by this one. Means the overlapping was not found in a definite order. Overlapping was seen, but not in a definite order. Such type of overlapping was irregularly found in imbricate type of estuation. It is found in Gulmohar, Cassia. Cassia and Gulmohar are the examples of imbricate type of estuation. When you see vexillary, here large standard petal is there and two petals are overlapped by the standard petal, and then these two overlaps the next one, that is keel petals. The overlapping is seen from upper side to lower side, that is descendingly imbricate or vexillary. Now about this vexillary we are going to explain detailing. One of the important type, that is vexillary type of estuation. Here large standard petal was found at the posterior side of the flower. Standard petal which overlaps the next two lateral petals. These lateral petals are otherwise called as wing petals, or technically alae. Then these two overlaps the next two one. These are the petals are found at base, that is anterior position, which are fused, called keel petals or carina. So here overlapping seen from upper standard petal overlaps the lateral petals overlaps the keel petals. These keel petals are fused, or carinae was fused. So overlapping from standard to lateral, lateral to keel. Such an arrangement is otherwise called as descendingly imbricate or vexillary or papilionaceous. Very important. Standard petal is otherwise called as vexillum, which is the largest. Lateral petals or wing petals are alae, which are overlapped by the standard petal. Then these two overlaps the two keel petals or carina. Such an arrangement is called descendingly imbricate aestivation or papilionaceous or vexillary, which is a very important characteristic feature of Fabaceae family. Bean, peas, etc. So the method of arrangement of floral leaves such as calyx and corolla in bud condition of a flower is known as aestivation. The aestivation is classified into four types mainly, that is valvate, twisted, imbricate and vexillary. What is valvate? Each and every member, that is a calyx or corolla, found in a definite circle or a whorl with a certain small gaps without any overlapping. Such an arrangement is called valvate. Example, calotropes. Whereas twisted, each perianth member overlaps by the next one. That one was overlapped by the next one. Likewise, each and every one overlaps by the adjacent ones. Such an arrangement is called twisted aestivation. Twisted, right? Found in China rose, lady's finger, and also cotton. And also cotton. Then imbricate. Here overlapping is not in a definite order. Not in a definite order, but overlapping was seen. Irregular overlapping was seen in imbricate. Example, Gulmohar and Cassia. Whereas vexillary was found in a standard petal overlapped, the two lateral petals are called wing petals, then which overlaps the keel petals, right? This arrangement was seen in Fabaceae members, example bean, peas, etc. It is otherwise called as descendingly imbricate aestivation or papilionaceous corolla, which is an important diagnostic characteristic feature of the flowers found in the members of Fabaceae, examples beans, peas, groundnut, etc. Next, the third whorl. The third whorl of flower is called androecium. Third whorl of flower is called what, ma? Androecium. The modified leaves of androecium is called what? Stamens. The units of androecium is called stamens. Each stamen has two parts. Each stamen has two parts, that is one filament and one anther. You see, the filament has the distal and proximal ends. This is the base or proximal end of stamen. This is the distal end of stamen has anther. Generally, this proximal end was attached with a petal or with thalamus. So, in a flower, the proximal end of the filament of a stamen, attached with the petal or with the thalamus, then which brings with through the filament, and upper part develops by the anther. Anther is a globose, fertile part. Filament is a sterile stalk. Generally, the anther is bilobed. Generally, the anther is bilobed, means have two lobes. Lobe 1, lobe 2. In these bilobed anthers, each lobe divisible into two pollen sacs. Each lobe divisible into two pollen sacs. So, in a bilobed anther, each lobe with two pollen sacs are otherwise called as microsporangia. So such an anther is common in majority of the flowers. Bilobed anther are dithecas, which each lobe with two spore sacs or pollen sacs or microsporangia. Such an anther is called dithecas, which is most common, right? Dithecas anther or bilobed anther, each lobe with two pollen sacs or two microsporangias. Whereas in some plants like Malvaceae members, like cotton, hibiscus, etc., the anther is unilobed or monothecous. In the cotton and hibiscus, such as in Malvaceae family, the anther is a reniform, that is a kidney shape, has only one lobe. These unilobed anthers or monothecous anthers have two pollen sacs or microsporangia, right? So stamen is otherwise called as microsporophyll. Phylla means leaf. Phylla means leaf. The modified leaf in a flower which produces microspores called microsporophylla. So microsporophyll is a technical word for stamen. Each stamen has two parts, that is a filament and an anther. Generally, filament is a sterile stalk-like structure for anther. Anthers are two types, that is a dithecous anthers or bilobed anther. Here each lobe with two pollen sacs. So this dithecous anther is common in majority of angiospermic plants, especially in Malvaceae, that is cotton and hibiscus plants. The reni-shaped or kidney-shaped anther was found, which is a monothecous, that is unilobed. But in unilobed or monothecous anther, there are two chambers, that is pollen sacs or microsporangia. So sac is called pollen sac or microsporangia. The total modified leaf is called microsporophyll or stamen. Each stamen has two parts, that is a sterile filament and fertile anther. Anther is the main part which produces pollen grains. That pollen grains are called female gametophytes. Within the pollen grain, male gametes are produced. Pollen grains are called male gametophytes. Within the pollen grains, male gametes are develops, right? So this is about androecium. Stamen has two parts. The proximal end generally attached with the petal or thalamus. In one NEET examination, one question was asked, the proximal end of filament of a stamen attached with dash A petals or thalamus, B. Gynoecium. C. Calyx. D. Pedicel. This is the question. The proximal end. Proximal means near end. What is the near end? Base. The base of the filament, proximal end of the filament attached with dash. Petals or thalamus. This is the correct answer. Next are three options given like this, right? Generally, in plants, the stamens are fertile. In some plants, the stamens are sterile, means does not produce pollen grains. Stamen is there in the flower, anther also there, but within the anther pollen grains are not produced. So such stamens does not able to produce pollen grains are called staminodes. So sterile stamens, unfertile stamens, the stamens which are not able to produce pollen grains are called sterile stamens. The sterile stamens technically called as what? Staminode. Very important. The stamens in a flower may be 2 or 4 or 3 or 5 or many in number different species. So different flowers have different number of stamens. Okay, maybe 2 or 4 or 3 or 5 or 6 or many based on the particular species. All these stamens together called as androecium, that is third one, you know. Each and every stamen has two parts, that is a filament and anther, you know. Filament is a stalk, sterile, anther is a globose, fertile. Anther is globose and fertile. Anther is two types, that is what? That is what? A dithecous or monothecous. Dithecous anther means which has two lobes, that is bilobed anther. Each lobe has two pollen sacs, that is microsporangia. Monothecous means each lobe with only one lobe is there, that is monotheca. That one lobe divisible into two pollen sacs or pollen chambers or microsporangia. Right? This is about stamen. The sterile stamen is called staminode. Sterile stamen is called staminode. In the flowers, these stamens are free. For example, 6 stamens are there. In mustard plants. In mustard plant, 6 stamens are there. Each and every stamen, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each and every one was free with one another. Free. Individually. Without any union. Such stamens are called polyandrous condition. Means free stamens. So in a flower, there are 6 or 4 or 5, whatever it may be number. I give example about 6 stamens are found in a mustard plant. Each and every one free with one another, without any union or without any adhesion, attachment. Such free stamens are called as a polyandrous condition. Polyandrous. But in majority of the flowers, the stamens shows two types of union. That union of stamens classified into two types, that is cohesion and adhesion. What is cohesion? Stamens in a flower among themselves, fused. Stamens in a flower, 4 or 5 or 6, fused among themselves and forms an union called cohesion. But stamens in a flower adnated or attached or fused with other floral members such as calyx or corolla or androecium. Such union is called adhesion. So for example, the students belongs to 11th class unite together, only 11th class people are united together. Such an union is called cohesion. But in a school, at a parade or farewell meeting, along with 11th, 12th, 10th students are united. The 11th students are united with the 10th as well as 12th. Such an union is called adhesion. So in a flower, stamens are attached or fused or adnated with calyx or corolla or gynoecium is known as adhesion. In a flower, only stamens, 4 or 5 or 10, unite themselves only. Such an union is called cohesion. About cohesion and types and about adhesion and types we will discuss in the next class. And after completion of this cohesion and adhesion of stamens, we move to gynoecium, that is the fourth whole of the flower. Thank you, students. If you have doubt, ask me in Zoom session, that is in doubt clarification class. Thank you. Meet you again in the next class.